you are. Good morning, good afternoon. Uh, I'm on again being, without notifying you. And that's because it's early and I'm trying something different. Good morning, Jean. Jean's with us. Okay. I'm trying something a little different. And Matt says, couldn't wait for me. Matt, I did this. This is not this is just a test kind of to see what kind of reaction I get early. And it's because the night times, well, I've been falling asleep early and my husband's been working days. And so at night, it makes it even more difficult for me to be creative and make noise or whatever I want to do. So I thought today I would talk about this publication called Loki's Revenge. And I am going to start with this, and I'll say good morning, Jean and Matt. You said you were relaxing today. I had asked Matt if he wanted to come on with me, but I didn't give him any time. So we're gonna come, Matt Nelson. He will come on with me another time because he's a brilliant mind, and we have a lot to talk about. But I want to start with this because I haven't really uh, talked about the Michael Moore movie, and the I just need to do one thing on Facebook since I don't even think I have any mods here. I have no idea. I want to see if it's actually working and share it to the group. So I haven't talked about the Michael Moore movie because so many others have. So I thought, well, let me go to Loki's Revenge and see the take by this publication, which is always really pretty out there, doomer interesting. So I thought I would, those of you who may not know the publication, well, you're certainly going to see it now. And hello, boiled lampposts and Phil. Sounds good. All right, everything looks good, and I'll get started. All right, because really the movie to me, and my opinion's probably not even important. It's what's going on as a result of it, the conversation it spurred, the anger it spurred, but there's so much more to it. And I know Jennifer had wanted to talk about it, and it's on my mind. So I really thought I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to see what happens in the morning. I'm really going to try to do, if I do any lives, I'm going to try to go earlier, maybe like 11 a.m. and see how that works. I don't like to interfere with anybody else's work or streams. I know that there's a lot of competition, and it's not that I'm competing, but I mean a competition for time and time slots, and it's tough. But I know also when you go on at night Eastern time, there's a lot of people from Europe that don't get to get on. So uh, let's see what this publication has to say. Let's get it up here. All right, so Loki's Revenge I found it a few years ago when I was, well, I think somebody sent it to me. And it's definitely an interesting website. Absolutely. If you've never heard of it, go for it. I do believe might be on, there might be a Reddit on it because I created a Reddit for Environmental Coffee House, by the way. Not that I have the time, but I thought maybe somebody else would want to have the time and bring up topics. And then the topics that get discussed in Reddit, possibly we could turn into content because I need to do this. I need to do something. I have been, well, super kind of, I don't know. If any of you out there say you're not depressed, you're lying. And even if it's just a little depression, you're lying. How can you not be depressed with the way everything is? Hi, Ed Summers. So let's get started, and we'll talk about this. He called this, or Loki, Whoever Loki's revenge is, I'm not sure. I don't remember. I know I knew the name of the person. It's probably somebody I know through the Doomosphere pretty well. And I'm sure that if they if the person that does this, they see me, hopefully they'll come on and look at Pool Ball and Marsha. Hi, Marsha. She says 11's perfect. So 11, 10, 9, 8. That's 8 o'clock in the West Coast for those that can get up early, which I don't think is going to be Kim. But anyway, let's look at this. Now, this writer, a little controversial, a little doomy, but let's go. The title really got me here. Why it takes Michael Moore and global socialism 50 years to wipe its ass. In 1913, New York banks took over Washington's money. New York banks started World War One and two boom and bust cycles. The MIC, socialism, feminism, capitalism, propaganda are all 100 years old. We are very good at doing nothing for 100 years. We've been doing it. Only 4% of animals are wild. 4% of energy is renewable. Emissions up 50% in 30 years. In 20 years, we will be lucky to be down 2% of animals wild by weight. There were more sea turtles below Florida than buffalo on the plains by weight. There are 25 billion chickens eating rainforests for lunch. China's pigs eat 50% of South America's rainforests. Pig and swine flu are not a nobody saw this coming moment. It's a worse than expected moment. And Marsha, I'm really happy to see you, by the way. Marsha, I'm just adding you quickly. 11 is perfect. It is. It's perfect. I haven't even had my first little pain reducer. And I don't even care. It'll help me. All right, so he, I think it's a he, has brought up more topics that we could do a show on each one, right? The world is run by, expert morons and triggered gamer mods. The world is run by expert morons and triggered gamer mods. To stop runaway hothouse mass extinction, we have to stop burning 50% of fossil fuels in 10 years. Okay, this is what is being discussed. 10 years. This is 100% unacceptable to all the greedy, hairless pig apes worldwide. Greedy, hairless pig apes number over 5 billion. That's 1/5 of how many winged mini dinosaurs there are. 100% private carbon UBI would unite poor against rich and not poofs against rednecks. Both the left and the right want that money. Both are smart and glib at getting it. Educated people are trained to think debate is better than reality. We lose winning. Pretty cool. I mean, to read all those bullet points could make one show, like I said. So it gives them why. And it was in Reddit Conspiracy, okay? And the old days. I'm just giving you a taste. The old days. My nephew Corbin with a K turned 30. If you're reading this shit, God help you, buddy. The only people crazier than me are you. And, I wonder if I should click on this and just see where oh, I see. Okay, well, it took us to, and I'm just doing this cold with you guys to see how this article pans out. So let's do it together, because honestly, I didn't read it. I didn't really prepare a lot this morning. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to see if I like 11 o'clock in the morning, or, well, it's noon here. I was late. But Bernie Sanders and Michael Moore are green energy sellouts. Okay, now let's see if I agree with this or not. But it was it was posted by somebody named Private Employment. Now I'm not so sure if I'm supposed to use uh, Reddit stuff. I don't know. I might get in trouble for this. I really don't know. But around 2011, right after Bill McKibben got a photo op with James Hansen, then he and Bernie Sanders, and I love Bernie Sanders, so I'm going to vote for him in New York now that we can, right? All right. They they sponsored a bill that would sequester 40% of Hansen's private carbon UBI put out by Texas economists. Hansen's idea would unite left and right for purpose like never before. The US can get 300 years power cleaning up their own nuclear waste, but Greens told Hansen to fuck off because the Fukushima bucks were rolling in. Fukushima was bad military power. Hansen's ideas would even clean up depleted uranium. The Greens told Hansen to fuck off, so Hansen went to China. The reason things don't work is because of their global complexity. Boeing's outsourcing made Max dive from the sky. Remember that the plane? Phew. The F-35 is combat ready 10% of the time. Pandemics are not a surprise. They are laughably tragic, logical outcomes. The pension fund godfathers tell us they will be offshore wind turbine fleets made of fiberglass and epoxy resin because that's the cheapest way to do it, not because there are not better ways. Cheap, 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 cheap. Offshore windmills use 1,000 times more copper than land ones. They cost 2 times much more to maintain, last half as long as expected, and are not climate change ready, and deliver 20% of life cycle energy projections. The new turbine blades are so big they haven't been properly modeled. I have to stop you there. I'm going to stop this right now. Where I live, there was a proposal for a wind farm over in a really beautiful area that is all farms and Amish, and it is just really beautiful. And honest to God, it was a hard one for all of us in the green movement around here, because while we don't want to see CO2 rise and we don't want to see carbon go up, a lot of the people in the area were really upset and fought against it, because these were not just regular windmills, not like we see when I go over to visit my daughter in Erie County. We see windmills. These windmills were going to be the tallest, and I don't have a graphic to show it, the tallest in New York State. They were twice the size. They were just so big, and they were quite actually frightening. And the power was not going to be coming to us, near us. And we don't even know what the percentage of power was, or we do, but I don't have anything pulled up because I didn't prepare for this. This was one of those last minutes, I'm just going to do something and I don't care, test the timing, see who joins, how many people, whatever. It's so nice to see Jilly Love here. Here too, we're fighting a stupid wind farm. It's because of the way, well, I'm a proponent of everyone for themselves as far as power, household, not a proponent of everyone for themselves as far as life. I think we're all in this together, and people are too selfish in the United States, and we should help each other. In fact, there was an article in the New York Times this morning about that. The fake New York Times. And Jilly says they want to cut ancient forests and disrupt national landscape. And see, aren't we in a conundrum? We all here kind of know we are fucked, right? But yet it's hard to fight these things, because people then when you fight them, they then right away associate you as an anti-green or a right winger or whatever, and without seeing the bigger picture. And that's what happened around here. So let's do this. All right, we're at the new turbine blades are so big they haven't been properly modeled. The blades are prone to wear and tear twice what was expected, as one engineer said. And I thought I would just build them and forget about them. The blades on the ground are not the blades in the labs. Every new energy source is just carbon transmutation on irrelevant timescales. Planting tree seeds and counting them as a 50-year-old adult is not how is not how reality works. The power rating is a work of fiction compared to the energy you get out of them. Energy is money and money is energy. Debt mongers and no, debt mongers or not, and no, maybe that's a mistake. Remember, this is just something I pulled up. If we don't reduce fossil burning 55% in 10 years, there is absolutely no fucking chance in hell of Earth surviving, period. Exclamation mark, stick a fork in its ass, over. When the Presidio pedos said said we can't handle the truth, he wasn't kidding. The only way to stop the thieves is to make money and data open worldwide. Accounting disappeared with it. Michael Moore and the Extinction Rebellion can go to hell. They're after your money. The people poisoning your mind and body are the same people giving you drugs for them. The thieves left the streets 100 years ago. Fraud is global. Well, see, this is really controversial, but that's why I picked it. And there's a lot of comments on it, but I thought it was food for thought, which is always what I like to bring, food for thought. And today I want to see what you guys in the comment section are talking about, because, well, that's exactly why I did this. It's to spur that, you know. Hey, Mark, how are you? Let's see. Anybody? Yeah, Jilly says, we want sustainable energy, but the thermogenesis is an unethical company. All right, most of these companies that want to build, they're all oligarchic. This is what's happened. I mean, this is what I guess the Michael Moore movie was about. Although this person had been saying, "Fuck all of them. They want your money. Everybody wants your money." I mean, that's what makes the world go round. Everybody wants your money on something. I flipped the channels today, and for God's sakes, some on television sales channel was selling 3 bottles, 8 ounces each, okay, of hand sanitizer spray for $49 for 3 8 ounces. I mean, come on. This is like so taking advantage of everybody, every clueless moron out there. My mood's been bad anyway. Um, oh, hi, Timothy. He's in New Zealand. He's got to get some sleep soon. Well, I kind of like this time. This isn't so bad. Pooh Ball and Reza. Um, free, free clean energy is simple. I just plug it into my neighbor's supply. You know, Raza, I would love you to come on with us when we do our comedy. We're going to do a funny, by the way. And I'm going to give you all my address, the environmentalcoffeehouse at gmail.com. And I am going to solicit everybody's jokes, funny stories, and we're going to do a whole show where we laugh the whole time. I think that because I laugh at everything, you know, I call it, what do I call it? We are the ironic, you know, everything is so pathetically ironic that I thought a good show would be that. Richard says, you see these wind farms, if you travel the Columbia River Gorge, in perspective, they are better than a coal stack. Of course, or boiling water in a reactor. Yes, I agree with that, but it depends on where they are. They've got them all out in Lake Erie and Buffalo. You can see them there. And actually, the landscape is not hideous. I mean, yes, it changed the landscape, but it's all about how much energy we're going to get. And is it really going to take away the fossil fuels? Is it really going to happen? I don't know. Marco, hi Marco, welcome. In order for these huge wind turbines to be efficient, they use rare earth magnets. Research how toxic it is to mine rare earth minerals, and you will doubt that wind turbines are really green energy. Well, of course. But don't you know? Marco, President Trump says we're going to mine the moon. We're going to get up there and mine the moon. But of course, it's going to take a lot of fossil fuels to get there and mine the moon and bring everything back. And hi, Chris. I didn't know if you would join us or not. I didn't tell anybody about this. I just said, let's do it. Okay. I don't even know who's watching. Again, I don't, how many people, but Gene says, good time to be selling meat. Just not good if you are the manual labor slicing the animals up. Yeah, that's a whole other issue. Our fascist authoritarian president orders these people like they're essential workers to go to work when 800 people get coronavirus in a lab and people are dying, right? And Jilly says, who is still eating meat from wet markets? Oh my God. Well, anyway, let's go to the next thing I pulled up, which is from that same well, wait, let me go back, because as I went through Loki's Revenge today, there was also a part. Let me see. Can you see it? All right, guys. There was a part with a lot of links. I don't know what this is. You want to hear it? Neville. Oh, Neville Lee. Okay, we're not going to listen. Thieves now work on social media with Twitch hookers and game shows. It takes 1 ton of coal to make 6 solar panels. The panels need natural gas plant fired up 24/7, or they don't work. To close a 1 megawatt fossil plant, you need 10 megawatts of solar wind power without a mega monster battery backup. I mean, like Satan raping Gaia big. The difference between a model wind turbine in a showroom and one in the field is usually 2 orders of magnitude difference. I don't know what that means, but it's big. I guess Michael Moore in Extinction Rebellion have shadow banned his comments. I took screenshots not to convince you, but myself. This is the same shadow banned post I always make. This is about documentation of my facts. I just insert myself deep into the absurd, reductive implications of their logical conclusions. I don't know what I said, but I love it. I guess my endless editorializing is why I never get adopted, or that pup over there. I think this person is very, very interesting. The oceans and jungles have conspired to turn on us and give off more gas than my apocalyptic turncoat liver. Me and the old gal are well beyond our wall hitting days. So you can go through this, and every day these are like just thoughts, right? But what I wanted to find was here it was. All right. There were a lot of links here, and some conspiracies are like black sheep or a murder of male teen crows. All right. Links and quotes, and then here's why. This is what I wanted to show you. If you are 15 years old, emissions went up 30% in your lifetime. And that was, this is what was on here. They have links to, and you can see it, how the CO2 goes up. What is it at 418? I mean, nothing's happening. I don't want to read the privacy policy. Nothing's happening. So that's Our World in Data, using that. They're using that link from Our World in Data. And if you are 15, so it goes 15 years old, emission went up. If you are 30 years old, the emission went up. The world totally failed 4 major global climate initiatives in Canada. This was another one. And it was the Earth Summit, the Kyoto Protocol, Copenhagen Accord, of course, the Paris Agreement. So you see what the flavor is of Loki's Revenge. There's a whole lot of links, and you can see them for yourselves, because I will go back, like the challenges and requirements for new power grid. This was in 2016. As the United States economy and society become more reliant on the uninterrupted flow of electricity, the power grid upon which it depends for that supply has experienced deteriorating reliability. The grid loses 285% more often today than in 1984. So there's a lot of stuff, and I thought it was worth sharing. And over on Reddit, there is, it says, it says Michael Moore. It's the Michael Moore Reddit, and there were a lot of good comments there also. But again, I don't really want to go through the whole movie. No, I really don't want to go through the movie. There's probably so much we've all thought about that movie, and again, Jennifer had wanted to talk about it, and Zach says, "Oh, I see." He's talking about peak prosperity, which I look at. As I said, I wasn't happy that he used Newsweek, and I proved that Newsweek is just a show. Newsweek is bullshit. It's not anything. It's like Newsweek is like the National Enquirer. Maybe. So let's get some. I always share thought-provoking stuff. Thank you, Chris. And I'm so sorry I missed your show last night because I fell asleep. I'm not going to complain, which I always do. I'm so sick and tired of complaining about feeling like shit, but I was tired. Mark says, this country is like an airplane in the movies. When the engines start sputtering and the pilot and crew look at each other and know things are not going to end well. Yeah, but I'm not trying to be a downer today. I'm just trying to bring you information. But maybe I find myself being a bit depressed. I'm really bored at home, I guess. And okay. Now, Chris went through this, the natural progressive, but her daughter moved to New Zealand. Mine dropped the ball on me that she's going to sell her house and they are going to move to LA, which is getting exponentially hotter, and she doesn't want to listen to me about it. She's going to try to get a free ride for her PhD at UCLA. But I guess that's bothering me. Not that I would never let people, they have to do what they want to do. It's that, 3,000 miles is a lot different than 75. And she is my only one offspring. And as I've told you a million times, she's not a breeder, as she said when she was 16. So I guess that's been bugging me, but I'm not going to tell her that, and I doubt she'll even watch this. But I do want to have her on. She does a podcast, Over Opinionated and Undereducated, and maybe she won't feel so undereducated if she moves. Yeah, well, so if she goes, I don't know. Sometimes, but yet, I have people and I have friends. So, but my friends have changed too. My friends have changed a lot over the years because I can't handle being friends with people that are completely self-absorbed and that are okay. I understand people need to work. I understand we need to open the economy, but I don't understand why these people think that they have the right to take arms into a public place. I don't think it's right. One shooting in Canada, and Trudeau is banning assault weapons. And I think the Second Amendment crowd has gone too far. Although, again, I'm not being a hypocrite. We have firearms. My husband does. And people might not like it, but he's a hunter. And he's not a vicious killing hunter. He loves animals. And he's a lefty. He's a lefty. But he looks at these guys and gals that go and do this because of coronavirus, and he calls them all pussies because their showing of their weapons is a pussy move. A real man, in his eyes, doesn't have to show that he has his weapon. The Second Amendment jackasses. But I digress because I have gone from Loki's revenge and climate change to morons taking uh, state capitol buildings by guns. And to me, it's really disgusting. And Gene, yes, the just have a think dude, there is something about him that gets my spidey senses tingling. Well, Dave is really nice. He writes very nice things to me. I would love to be able to do a show like Dave, but there is no way I could ever set up that kind of. He doesn't hurt 24/7 either. He doesn't have to do everything around his pain reduction. Um, Marco says over opinionated and undereducated as most Americans. That's why they called it that. And I'll tell you, it's my daughter and her beau, and they're going to move together. But I like their podcast. But they are 30. They are that generation. It's completely different from what we talk about. Pooball says here in the Netherlands, Royal Dutch Airlines is going green. Is that hydrogen? I mean, how are they going to actually go green? The technology, I guess, is coming, but Gene says the United States is an extremely violent country. Wars, invasions, mass shootings, police violence, and of course, walking around with guns, which I never thought in my lifetime I would ever see. This kind of thing. Never in my lifetime. So did anybody really? I mean, who thought that they would see? What state was that? Gretchen Whitmer's state. And I wondered why she did not have the National Guard come, but probably because she didn't want to have a bloodbath. And oh, Meryl, hi Meryl. My kids are eligible for dual citizenship with Germany because their grandmother was a Holocaust survivor. I told them they should seriously consider getting their dual citizenship just in case. Things are getting freaky here. Yeah, I think so too. I never leave my property, and it was like that before coronavirus, but that was also because I was being surveilled by big insurance, and they're fucking me over anyway. And it's not because my health isn't bad, because my spine sucks. It's a story, again, I say I will tell when the whole thing is over. Marco, you're in Michigan? Ah, that's where it happened. Okay. I think Detroit is in Michigan. And I don't think that the powers that be in the White House could give one red shit about the people in the city of Detroit. I don't think they could give one red shit about black and brown people. I don't think they could give one red shit about old people. If I died tomorrow, who's going to shed a tear? A few of you? My husband, maybe? And I'm not afraid of death. That's a whole big issue, that fear of dying that is underlying a lot of this corona. Well, as Hambone calls it, corona panic. I don't agree with him 100%. He sat there and made his thing on masks, and I don't agree with him because there are sick people like my husband running around. And why? Because somebody else outside is not wearing a mask should my old man get coronavirus from some slob who doesn't give a shit about other people. And I'm not saying that's Hambone. He is a performance artist, and he's saying what he's saying, and he's from goddamn Texas. It's a lot different there. So, Raz, are you going to send me some funnies for our show? You should actually come on with me, and we'll just have a Raza Raymond comedy show. Jilly says, better to die quickly. Well, listen, I have a plan, and I'm not going to be to die from this coronavirus choking on my own spit. And maybe this sounds weird, but I want my control of when I go. I'm going to have control of when I go. And if I have to go to my brother's house in Eugene, Oregon for assisted suicide, you're fucking goddamn right I'm going to go there. And of course, this video is not made for children because I'm just, okay, Philip, you were answering from before. Refining alcohol takes a lot of energy for planes. And let's see. Oh, hi. Oh, if I died, you'd shed 1,000 tears. Oh, well, let's not talk about it. Although This is again, I'm such a procrastinator. I've been doing this, and it's even in my old last name. So because I don't want to leave my kid a mess. I don't want to leave her a mess. And I'm not talking about my husband. He wouldn't have a clue what the frig to do if something happened to me. No, no, no. And yes, Marco, I am right about Detroit and the rest. We live in a really, really, it's like, okay, you'd say it's like some of the most exciting times, but not. I'm going to read you. I do have another article if I could open it up, or I could just read it on this. It was the New York Times, they called it Open States, Lots of Guns. America is paying a heavy price for freedom. And I thought I would talk about that one today, but I've been on for 36 minutes, so I'm going to end soon. But I like the article. My brother actually sent it to me. And one of the comments was not comments, but pieces in the article was the coronavirus scenario I can't stop thinking about is one where we simply get used to all the dying. Well, thing about that, and we're all going to die. We're going to die. We are born to die. And our fear of death has been something studied and discussed, but that's what it all is. It's the fear of death. And once you accept, and maybe it's coming of age, maybe it's getting older, but once you accept you're going to die, it's not as frightening anymore. And it's more like we think of the people around us that we don't want to lose. Senior citizens in Florida, that are my parents who haven't left the house. It's not me. So, hi, Pascal. I'm going to add that. World War I and II, Spanish flu, dirty 30s. We still have it easy. We are so soft. It's 4:20 time for me this morning. And they say, oh, yeah, this can even make your lungs worse. Oh, well, makes my back feel better. Society's completely flipped. Yeah. And Marco, you've said ancient Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. You see, I have to turn everything into something to laugh about. I used to get people that would say to me, Sandy, why do you laugh when you're talking about such heavy stuff? Like, because it's ironic, pathetically ironic. That's my coin. Pathetically ironic. Everything is irony. Everything is I find even the most pathetic shit sometimes I find funny. Maybe that's me. Richard left Michigan long ago. He doesn't miss it. And he wanted his kids to have a better place than Michigan. I don't know much about Michigan. I don't, but I really am glad you all came today. I think maybe 11 o'clock in the morning might work for 11 Eastern, which is very early. So that's why Kim isn't here. I might need a couple of mods. And Jean gave me a few ideas in an email about how to help the chat and make the show a little bit better. Hi, Leslie. Leslie says so much in all of life has been revealed and has actually exposed dire predicaments. Sandy, how to keep your Kaizen on, the art of living, I guess. Yeah, and I think the art of living for all of us is going to change. I mean, come on. And I'm going to go gray too. I think one of the things that this corona thing did was make me realize maybe gray hair won't be so bad. Maybe no nails, which I actually like, won't be so bad. High maintenance girl here is not such a high maintenance, not a high maintenance person. Oh, Heidi. Hi, Heidi. Oh, my. Heidi, this wasn't really one I was sharing around, but that's okay. Thank you. She's so wonderful. Heidi Berthaler. I can't put it up. It's too big. Mark says he's not afraid of death, but he thinks about 20-month-old Aria. I've just started to get to know how unfair everything is for her. That's why my daughter is not having any kids, because she knows. She may not want to talk to me about it, and she may want to move to LA where she's going to be a boiled frog. But again, she's 30. So when she's my age, it will be pretty horrific to live on this planet, you know? Okay. I'm just really, really. Oh, thank you. Qigong and LED light device. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Honey, Jilly, I've been looking for pain relief for 20 years. I've had a bad spine. So, anybody want to email me anything? Because at this point, I am really not doing much for it and I suffer. But you all know that because I whined about it enough. But I whined about it enough because it's my life. Karen says, "Wow, you're on." Karen, I'm trying out the morning. And basically it's because I think that a lot of people in Europe can't get on. My husband now works days, so it's really hard to do things at night. Cuz well, maybe the guy wants attention or maybe he just wants to play with his phone, but I scream at him and say, "You can't use anything with the internet because everything will interfere with this. Everything." I have wild lettuce tea. I have wild lettuce drops, Chris. Oh, you're all so awesome. So basically, this was not planned. I have nothing scripted. I just had a few articles, Karen, that I showed. I showed Loki's Revenge, which is I was turned on to in the Doomosphere, and Loki's Revenge has always has this person always has something, to say, bullet points, discussions. They make this person makes you think. Now, what does this one say? The flyover people are getting restless. They could spook at any moment. The higher sky islanders flock from penthouse top islands to sandy beach islands. Their nano poison spewing down into the air, maybe helping a little rain. 4 billion flights per year. Only rich, smart people can do it. So if you that's the idea of what I showed. What I showed you today was Loki's Revenge. And hi, Maggie. It's great to see your face too from Scotland. I think this morning thing might just be good for me. I really do. And I won't be as disjointed and I won't be as, I've been, going from subject to subject without any cohesion. But you like this, guys? You like, so maybe if I do 11 o'clock Eastern, that's 8 o'clock on the left coast, and I think it's about, what, 6 hours later in the UK, maybe this will work. Maybe it'll give me a reason to feel like getting up and doing something besides, well, I can't say I don't do anything. I've got all kinds of greens growing in the dining room, and I have 5 cats in the house to take care of, and it hurts and it just makes me worse. But this is Karen. I'm thinking it'll be 8 o'clock though, your time in the morning. I'm thinking 11 o'clock or 11:30 in the morning. And then there's talk shows in the afternoon I like to listen to while I'm doing things. And I will give a shout out to Nicole Sandler because I do listen to her every day at 3 o'clock. She is on YouTube, Facebook under her name. She's on a couple of things. She is a talk show for an hour. No, not your time. Not your time, 11 a.m. 8 o'clock your time, Karen. 8. I know, really early. But Nicole Sandler, good show, 3 o'clock. I like her politics. I think like her. She's absolutely completely different than me what in the kinds of shows we do. I am a mod on her chat, and I really value someone like her who puts a lot into her hour show, and but she's a pro. She was a producer and she was a rock and I mean she's interviewed rock and roll people from the 80s. She's cool as shit. Nicole Sandler, and she's on at 3 o'clock Eastern. If you can do that, I'll put a link in for Nicole. I've wanted to give her a really good shout out. I really, really, really like her. She thinks like me, you know. So that's a good thing. Maybe she thinks like a lot of us. I love it. Morning is good for me. I'm sober. I love you, Greg. You know, if I get out there, I'm coming to see you and your grandchildren and the whole piece of property and where all the trees were horrible. And Thomas, I think I said good morning to you. And thanks, Chris. We always love to see you. CB 2 hours a day. I don't know what that meant, but anyway, guys, I'm going to let you all go because I know I have, a bigger audience, but I think if you get used to me being on early, I will always pick something that's different from everybody else. I mean, because we're all unique. Kevin does his thing and Chris does her thing. And I really, really, really was mad that I fell asleep last night. And Torstein at Going South, he has Green Pill TV. Do not forget about Green Pill TV. It's the best way to clean your house is just put on the headset, walk around, and you can listen to what he's chosen for the day. Then there is, who else did I want to not? Oh, forgot. We have a special guest on Saturday, me and Jennifer. And I'm not going to say who it is yet. It's somebody you probably don't know, but it's going to be more of a good feeling kind of show on Saturday night. And I wonder if we should just pick Saturday day. We'll see. But don't forget, I asked you, send me environmentalcoffeehouse@gmail.org. Send me all your funnies. We're going to do a show in a couple of weeks on everything funny, jokes, and all of these. The comics. I can show you the comics that we put up on I don't have to show you on the Environmental Coffee House Facebook page. We put up these political comics. I call it, the pathetic irony of life. Well, a lot of these comics have been really, really awesome to read. And don't forget our own Jonathan O. He is working on his next strip of dark comics. You can find him at a website called DeviantArt, and some of his stuff that he does for Environmental Coffee House. He's dark, and you really have to pay attention to what he's saying. He does a good majority of the scheduling on the Facebook page, and I believe that's why we have a following that's such a wide variety because of all the different kinds of articles. We have something for everyone. Something for everyone. Hi, Warren. Check out the supermoon tonight, the supermoon of 2020. If you're restless, and hugs. And you can't see all the comments. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, guys, it's been 48 minutes. Peace. I love you, and see ya next time. I'll let you know what the schedule is going to be, and hopefully, physically, I can stick to a schedule. Wouldn't that be something? I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for coming.